And this is why it pays to be a podcast listener because I'm dropping this video first, well, the audio on the Kempire podcast, along with our Real Housewives of Atlanta recap that we did earlier today. I did see in the live chat some people talking about Dwight from the Real Housewives of Atlanta having prostate cancer. Of course, I don't like to run with narratives. I like to do my own research and confirm this news. And he confirmed this news exclusively with our friends over at People Magazine.
Here we go now.
According to People Magazine, they write this. They said Real Housewives of Atlanta star Dwight Eubanks reveals that he was diagnosed with prostate cancer. The celebrity hairstylist, who's 64 years old, if you've seen Dwight recently, he does not look 64. He opened up to People exclusively about being diagnosed earlier this year and why he's so adamant about encouraging others to stay on top of their health. Nearly 30 years ago, Dwight's grandfather was diagnosed with prostate cancer. He kept his diagnosis a secret from family before later dying from the disease. From that point, Eubanks was very conscious about the possibility of having a similar fate. However, he says that he was told that because the family history of prostate cancer came from his mother's side, that there wasn't a high risk of him getting a diagnosis himself. So I'm thinking that I'm good, he tells People. I was confident that I was Superman, I was cleared, I was going to be okay, and I just never thought about it. In January, Eubanks' church was hosting a health fair, and he decided to get blood work done. This is why I tell you, I have to say, I started being more conscious about my blood pressure and my health because of a health fair that they had at my corporate job years ago. This could actually save lives. This is why these corporate fairs are so important. A week later, his doctor called and told him to come in as soon as possible. Despite feeling healthy and having no alarming symptoms, he was diagnosed with prostate cancer. A follow-up prostate-specific antigen, PSA, blood test in April confirmed the diagnosis. He says, I was shocked. I was angry, he recalls. I was just emotionally a wreck. When you hear the word cancer, you freak out. I'm human. Society has told us that cancer was just devastating and you just have days to live. So, of course, I freaked out and I think I'm still freaked out. Prostate cancer is the second most common cancer among men in the United States, according to the American Cancer Society. About 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed during their lifetime. However, Black and African American men are at greater risk, with 1 in 6 men who will be diagnosed with prostate cancer. Additionally, Black men are twice as likely to die from prostate cancer than white men. That's important to note. While Eubanks was grappling with his diagnosis, he also learned that his cancer could have been caught earlier. As someone living with HIV since the 80s, the TV personality has had routine checkups with his doctor every 6 months. After being diagnosed with prostate cancer, his doctors reviewed past medical records and noticed that in 2022, he had a high PSA levels that weren't brought up. I was like, are you kidding me? This was back in 2022 and nobody said anything to me. He just said, you're undetectable, so you were fine. Never said anything about my prostate. I guess they just weren't looking at that. And that's the thing too. We have to also be our own advocates in these offices. I know we rely on our doctors to be diligent. And that's why I pay a little extra for another service. They're a little bit more proactive in regards to your health and the things that you should be screening for at certain ages. But not everyone has that ability to pay for something extra. Healthcare in general is very expensive. He says, I was like, are you kidding me? This was back in 2022 and nobody said anything to me. He just said, you're undetectable, so you're fine. Never said anything about my prostate. I guess they just weren't looking at that. For those that don't understand what undetectable is, we're in Pride Month. Undetectable meaning that he still has HIV. However, he won't transmit HIV to anyone else because a lot of people get that confused. As frustrated as he was about the ability of getting a diagnosis sooner, Eubanks admits, I just have to laugh instead of crying about this whole journey. Now, to mark the beginning of Men's Health Month, Eubanks is partnering with Zero Prostate Cancer as their brand ambassador to raise awareness and encourage other men, especially Black men, about the importance of getting screened. Additionally, Eubanks will be featured as a speaker at the Zero Prostate Cancer's Virtual Education and Support Summit, June 3rd to the 5th. What's amazing about this is that I feel like a higher power has been preparing me for this moment to be a light of hope for others, noting that he knew immediately that he was going to be transparent about his diagnosis, unlike his grandfather's approach. I could not be silent with this because it could help people if they just get tested and don't wait too long. And most important, ask questions, look at your records, investigate. I can't say what could have, or would have been, but I just have to embrace where I am now and be grateful and try to help someone else along the way. Moving forward, Eubanks is still working with his doctors on a treatment plan that would best suit him. Witnessing a longtime friend go through a traumatic prostate cancer journey 4 years ago, the RHOA alum says that he's adamant about not having his prostate removed or suffering the way that he's seen others suffer. So we are exploring possibilities to see what route to go, and we have not come up with that yet, he tells People. I have a great team, about 4 different doctors, 2 urologists, another specialist, and my family physician. So I'm comfortable and I'm forever grateful to have such a team and support. And we are going to figure it out. But I feel good, Eubanks stresses. I'm 6'4", that's young to I'm 64, that's young to me. We're all going through something. But when we reach those bridges, you have to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and carry on. Because life really is a beautiful thing. We are sending healing to Dwight during this prostate diagnosis. Glad that he's getting the treatment that he needs. Let's continue to hold him up in prayer during this time. But it's a reminder for those that might be hearing this. It's a reminder to you, if you've been waiting to go get your physical, to ask your doctor. Mind you, I didn't just remind my doctor, like, are we good in regards to it? But I'm itching towards that age where I have to start getting that done regularly. Here, I'm always at the doctor. I'm just saying. But he's gone to the doctor as well, and they missed it. He was always at the doctor as well. So there are questions to be asked. So if you're hearing this, or you're a loved one that has a husband or a brother, this is your opportunity to say, have you gotten your prostate checked? Have you gone for your physical this year? Maybe you should. Guys, as always, let's continue this conversation in this latest episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. For those that are watching this, thanks so much for watching.
Here we go now.